class, it's Miss Roberts here, and today we're going to talk about the informative speech and the requirements. Let's begin. Alright, so here are the informative speech requirements. Now, in this instance, you will be uploading your speech onto YouTube and providing me with both the outline and the actual video. The video should be about 4 to 6 minutes. You can use notes or read notes from your computer, but just make sure to maintain eye contact with the camera. And you also want to use a visual aid. So for example, you can switch to use a picture or bring an object to the screen. Also make sure to have a typed outline. The upload for the typed outline will be its own separate assignment. And within the outline, you're going to incorporate at least 3 sources, and you will create a bibliography either in MLA format, so a listing of your sources in MLA format, or APA format, your reference page in APA format. I have a few websites to help you out. You want to make sure that you also have good lighting. I have a microphone right here. So if you want to use your phone microphone or just test it out on your own, that's fine. But I have to be able to see you and I have to be able to hear you. Make sure that you don't use Wikipedia as a primary source. But if you do choose to look at a Wikipedia page, make sure to scroll down and find the primary source or the actual link where the information came from. You can also incorporate academic journals, magazine articles, interview someone yourself, books, interviews, websites, etc. Here we have the speech outline information. So here, this is where you'll upload your speech outline. Your informative speech presentation is 150 points and the outline is worth 50. Make sure to incorporate your sources within the in-text citations, and like I said before, provide a listing of your 3 or more sources in MLA or APA format. Let me show you the outline. You can find it in the modules. Let's go ahead and download. I had it up. Oh, never mind. I'm going to show you where it is and I found it. I thought I had to re-download this again. So it's under projects. So you have the outline right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the actual outline. So with the outline, you're going to type in your information, but I made it super simple. You want to make sure to keep the headings. By keeping the headings, I'll be able to know exactly where you are in the speech. You have your introduction, body, and conclusion. And you have parts within those sections. So, for example, you have my instructions, and you can easily, give me just a moment, you can easily highlight my instructions and take them out, but make sure to keep the headings. So first you have your attention getter. It captures the attention of the audience. It's the first thing that you say within the speech. So for example, you can start with a fact, stat, quote, anything you like. Also, for the informative speech, I failed to mention it earlier, the topic can be pretty much whatever you want it to be. So with the informative speech, you are informing us about a particular topic. Within the content discussions, we went over and we brainstormed topics that you can use and choose from, and went over which research we might want to incorporate inside of our outline. So those projects and those assignments, in addition to the video assignments, that goes over tips for informative speech presentation and some tips for informative speeches that will come together for you to do the assignment. So first you have your attention getters, so you can talk about a fact, stat, say a short story. we have the fair hearing and significance, so you can talk about why this is an interesting topic or how an audience would benefit from this topic. Then you have your thesis statement overview. So for this part, the central idea of thesis statement is pretty much one sentence that states what your speech is about. So for example, today I'm going to talk about A, B, and C. What is A, B, and C, you ask? It is the body sections of your speech. Now notice I don't have a lot going on here, but you will be filling in these blanks with full sentences. I want to make sure you emphasize that. Full sentences that not only announce what you're going to say. So for example, instead of saying, oh, here I will explain this, you would just straight up explain and specify your explanations and specify your details within the body. So the body section can include supporting details, reasoning, further explanations, and transitions from one point to another. A transition can include something like, now that I talked about A, let's go ahead and explore C. Or, next I will talk about B. Excuse me, let me restate that. Now that I talked about A, let's go ahead and explore B. Or, now that I talked about B, let's go ahead and explore C. I had to restate that because I didn't want you jumping around. Make sure that you follow your outline from top to bottom in the order it was supposed to go to. That's why I had to sort of correct myself there. You can include a fourth point if time permits, but you do have about 4 to 6 minutes to complete your video. Also make sure when you are citing your sources, making reference to your facts and stats, especially numbers, you want to say according to such and such or such and such says. You want to make sure to say that out loud as well as include your citations within the outline. Finally, you have the conclusion. The review is pretty much just a recap of what you talked about. For example, today I just talked about A, B, and C. And then your final statement is pretty much an end cap, or what are the takeaways that we can take from your speech. You can also use techniques from the intention getter to help out with the final statement. So for example, if you ask the question at the very beginning, you can answer that question at the very end. If you begin a short story at the very beginning, you can end that short story at the very end. So you can treat them as bookends. Pretty much, you're going to take this template, fill in the blanks, and in addition, create a works cited or reference page. Let me show you a couple of websites that can help you out with that. So this is OWL Purdue, or Purdue OWL. That stands for the Online Writing Lab. This is the MLA Formatting and Style Guide. There's also an APA Formatting and Style Guide as well. You can go ahead and look at general formats, things such as in-text citations, which we will explore here, basic format, and a sample works cited page. So there are a lot of resources that you can use for not only for this class, but for other classes as well. When I say in-text citations, here are some examples. So in the outline, you can use parenthetical citations, but because you are stating the citations out loud, you will have to incorporate them anyway into the sentence. It makes it a little bit easier, but you can do this either way. Either you can put parenthetical citations, so put the citations at the very end, or just incorporate them into the sentence. So, for example, Wordsworth stated, Wordsworth says, Wordsworth proclaimed, right? You're citing where the information came from. It's a little bit easier to weave it into the sentence just because you're going to be stating it, but you can also include parenthetical citations in the outline as well. That's totally up to you. Next up, we have the sample works cited page. So bibliography is just a catch-all term for a listing of sources in a certain format. So MLA or APA is acceptable for this class. Notice that in the works cited page, so this is an MLA format. Notice that we have a listing of sources, article names, where the article came from, URLs, date of access, and notice that it's in alphabetical order and it has a hanging indent, meaning that the first line in the entry is not indented, but any subsequent line, so any line other than the first one, is indented. But I have a totally easy way for you to do this. So I also have Noodle Tools Express. So with this website, you can create an entry in MLA or APA format. I do not use Chicago style in this class. However, if you need this for another class that does it, it's a really good website to help you learn about that formatting. So I'm going to use MLA for this example just because people are more familiar with it. If you go here, you can scroll the different types of sources that you can use. I listed the sources earlier, but there's a bunch of resources that you can use and make reference to. So I'm going to scroll back up to Academic Journal, create citation. Notice you have boxes. Say if the author's organization, you put it in the last box, but you can scroll down. You can scroll down. Yes, there you go. And then put as much information as you can. I'm going to scoot myself over because you can click and you can see here, it says formatting guide up top, but you can see what it's supposed to look like. Just the basic template. You press save and your information is put into that format automatically. Now, Noodle Tools Express is a free site. If you go to the pay site, so I'm going to show you what that is right now. You're going to get this. You do not pay for this resource. So you're going to scroll down if you go here. And I usually just I usually just type Noodle Tools Express to take me exactly there. But you can go to free tools, Noodle Tools Express, and boom, you're right there. So don't get freaked out. That wasn't a part of your materials cost. Noodle Tools Express is a free site. So say if I want to go to MLA, go to website, you see that the options have changed. And you can also see with the MLA guide that has changed as well. So you get an idea of what information to collect for the bibliography. And once you have this information collected, all you have to do is put it in alphabetical order and use hanging indents. Okay, well today we just talked about the informative speech and some of the requirements. Let me know if you have any questions. I look forward to hearing your speeches. Thank you so much. Bye.